Hello and thank you for stopping by the Massachusetts Beer Reviews channel of YouTube. I am Thomas Metal75 and this is your Massachusetts Beer Reviews. And today I'm reviewing a beer from Prairie Artisan Ales. This weekend I went to, in the town of Norfolk, Massachusetts, to a newly built and opened a craft beer cellar and found two interesting beers, and one of them is this Prairie's Artisan Ales. I believe it is their flagship beer, which is known as Standard, a Hoppy Farmhouse Ale. And if you get yourself caught up in the wild, they tell you how to noodle. It says how to noodle, and that's basically what it looks like. It's a cartoon on how to catch catfish in a hole in the river, I guess. So here's the catfish on the cap, which is kind of cool. So, yeah, I think that's cool. It's got a nice, almost plasticky feeling label, but it feels nice. I don't see a dating on the bottle, guys. Actually, I do. But it's a lot code. It says 909-017 and some kind of lot coding, so I have no clue what it means. I'm not going to give it a 10-point deduction. I don't do that. 5.6% alcohol by volume. As you saw, it was already opened. From the Prairie Artisan PrairieAles.com website. Standard is our everyday beer. It is a light, crisp farmhouse ale with a hoppy finish. The beer is dry hopped with Motueka hops, a lovely New Zealand hop with a spicy lime flavor and aroma. All they tell you is 5.6% alcohol by volume. Find in these 12-ounce bottles a sixth barrel kegs and half barrel kegs. And these guys are out of Krebs, Krebs, in the state of Oklahoma. So when I poured the beer in the glass, I drank a little bit of it, but where you can see this rim here is where the condensation was, and that's where the liquid was, and the rest of it was head in this tulip style glass, and it's died down now. But it has a lot of cloudy haze, lots of hazy look to it, almost like a Belgian white ale in that style, and that orangey, lemony yellow kind of a color with that bone white head and some popping and fizzing for sure, and it looked like it was gonna hold a little bit of lacing but not too much. Very carbonated, and the nose is definitely, everything's light, but they're really great examples of a typical farmhouse ale. It has that farmhouse Belgian kind of a yeast strain, a little bit tart, a little bit acidic, maybe it's a touch vinegary, but not really on the sour side, but just has that tart, lemon juicy kind of a twinge to it. What else?
Hey, Eric?
Yeah.
Kevin wants to know if you want to go swimming with him.
No.
Okay, I'll just let him know you're busy. Okay.
Neighbor stuff. Yeah. Barnyard. A little bit of that funky tartness that I was talking about. Lemony note is, or like a citrusy lemon lime kind of a note from that Motueka hop. Maybe like a weedy kind of a smell to it. Grainy. A little bit of a white pepper, but everything's just really subdued, which is nice. But it smells really, really good. So let's get a taste on camera of the Prairie Standard. Cheers. Excellent, very nice. I've heard some people on YouTube refer to the beer as almost like the Saison DuPont, which is a classic Belgian example of a farmhouse ale. I think it is kind of like that in its dryness and in that champagne-y white wine kind of a characteristic to it, but it's a lot lighter in its flavor overall. It still has those same kind of flavors to it, though. I'm getting almost like a Pilsner-y malt kind of a taste in this one. The white bread, maybe a biscuity note. There is some light white peppery notes to it, a light spicy note to it. Definitely is, there's a citrus of some kind of lemon lime. Could even be light pineapple or light grapefruit. Maybe not so much of the grapefruit though, but definitely some lemoniness and a little bit of the liminess from the Motueka hop. Definitely some grainy notes, definitely some weedy notes to it. There's the Motueka hop. It's not very hoppy. There's a grassy green, earthy note to the beer. It's very clean. There is an underlining kind of a sweetness to round out everything, but it's not over the top at all. Nice malt sweetness to balance everything. It's very clean. It's pretty crisp, almost like a champagne, but not quite that, effervescent. And it's extremely refreshing. I would say it's on the light side of medium for the body. I apologize for the interruption there. I have a maybe, 5 or 6 year old neighbor that wanted me to go night swimming with him. Sometimes he comes over and he just yaps. But what am I going to give what am I going to give the Standard by Prairie Artisan Ales? Now, unless I didn't say it, which I don't think I did, I don't notice that we get a lot of the Prairie Artisan Ales in southeastern Massachusetts or even in a lot in New England. The guy that I was talking to that was working at the craft beer cellar where I went to acquire this beer talked about they just have a small distribution, so we don't get a lot of it distributed into Massachusetts. So when I saw it, I kind of knew I had to get it. And I know most of you probably have heard of the Prairie Bomb, which is their Imperial Stout with coffee and chilies and chocolate and vanilla and that kind of stuff in it. And I've had the Trillium version of that Imperial Stout called Trill Bomb, which had all those same spices in their Imperial Stout. I think it might have been in their Night and Day Imperial Stout. That was my only real introduction into a Prairie beer. But this one has to at least get an A. It's on the low side of A. I mean, I really, really like this style of the Farmhouse. And I think it is very similar to Saison DuPont. I'm going to have to review that beer, and I will do that. It's not quite as dry as Saison DuPont. It doesn't quite have that same kind of a mouthfeel. This one's just very smooth, velvety, champagne-like carbonation, but not quite as effervescent. And all of those farmhouse funky, or those farmhouse horse blanket, yeasty, tart notes and the white pepper that you want from a good farmhouse ale. And at 5.6%, it is a somewhat of a sessionable beer for craft, as craft beer is concerned. Although I think this 4-pack of these guys was $13 and change, so not the best price, but you are getting a pretty premium, I'd say you're getting more of a premium product out of the Prairie here. Standard Hoppy Farmhouse Ale. I had a pale ale from Trillium. I think it was I don't remember if it was a pale ale or it might have been their Free Rise, which is one of their saisons with the Motueka, and I didn't think that worked extremely, extremely well. But this is really working nicely and complementing the lemony, limey, citrus notes are really complementing the tartness and that light, peppery, spiced note. So, yeah, I'll give that a 90 at least. It's a decent beer that if you can get it in your area, I would. it's almost a gateway. It can almost be a gateway beer in a sense, where if you don't like craft beers or you haven't ever tried craft beers before, or maybe you've never even had Belgian style ales before, or new to farmhouse ales, all the above would make this beer a great one to choose. So excellent stuff, Prairie. I will be looking for your stuff if I can, acquire it. So until next time, keep tasting those great beers. Cheers. We'll see you soon from the Prairie Artisan Ales Standard Beer Review. Cheers.